In the unknown side of WoW, we'll be going over hidden things, NPC references, lore, and bits and pieces of history of the game. Lots of interesting small things that wouldn't fit in their own video. Starting off with a unique battle pet. The Filthy Slime is a hidden battle pet that was added in BFA that came from Tol Dagor, and is only available in Mythic difficulty. After entering the dungeon and defeating the first boss, keep going and clear out all the trash leading up to the first floor. While going there, you need to keep an eye out for a discarded key, which spawns in random locations and are quite easy to miss, but this step can actually be skipped if your group contains a rogue, or someone with a profession who can open locks. Then, using your party member or key on a special cell, it will unlock, and after going through a hole in the wall, you'll arrive in a room that has a bucket. It'll spawn an elemental named Gul'dan the Malodorous, and after killing it, the pet has a chance to drop. It is personal loot like everything else and is not guaranteed to drop, as it's only roughly around an 11% chance. But it can be bought on the auction house if you don't want to farm it, or if you just get really unlucky. And now, let's go over a small but worthwhile lore character named Warbrave Oro. Oro was an NPC that was very popular in Legion, as he was one of the NPCs that arrived in Dalaran to ask for help with the High Mountain tribe. When the Riverbend is under attack by the Drogbar, Oro arrives in time to defend the village along with the player. But Dargrul uses the Hammer of Khaz'garath and destroys most of the Riverbend, with Oro getting stuck inside a stone fist that he needs help being broken out of. Oro tries to get revenge and kill Dargrul, so with the help of a small group of other Warbraves and the player, he confronts Dargrul inside the Bitestone Enclave. But Dargrul uses the hammer once more and instantly kills the entire group, except for you, by impaling all of them in earthen spikes. Oro had a family that lived at a place called Oro's Overlook, and after his death, Oro's wife, Kura, said that she knows that he wouldn't want her to lose herself in sadness. And it's speculated that Oro's youngest son doesn't actually know his dad had died fighting. As a special tribute to him, a memorial note can be found at a shrine in the Snowblind Mesa, which reads, "Dearest Oro, husband, father, and loyal servant of the Rivermane and High Mountain tribes, you shall always be remembered and loved." In Shadowlands, Oro actually traveled to Bastion, and his spirit can be found in the Aspirant's Crucible. If you decide to speak to him, he says how he hopes that his family is doing well, and he's basically moved on from the fact that he died. While most players probably forgot Warbrave Oro even existed, Legion was an expansion that was very heavy on storytelling, with a lot of tragedy to Azeroth and the heroes of it, with Warbrave Oro being one of the many who died during the expansion. The Xiwyllag ATV is a unique mount that was added in BFA that requires 2 parts in order to craft. The first being the supercharged engine, which is crafted from a schematic that has a chance to drop from the boss named Kujo in Operation Mechagon, and the second being the monolite reinforced chassis, which is crafted by blacksmiths. The unique effect with this mount is the fact that you can actually change the color of it. Very similar to the X995 Mechanicat, the player can obtain bottles that cover Mechagon, called Nuclear Red, Goblin Green, and Electric Blue, all changing color to their respective names. With Nuclear Red coming from certain lockboxes in the western spray area of Mechagon, Goblin Green coming from random chests in Mechagon, and Electric Blue, which has a chance to be inside the small metal box, which also comes from a chest. And as a note as well, Xiwyllag is just Gallywix spelled backwards. And even though this mount has 2 seats, for some reason it's a single person mount. Possibly an oversight by Blizzard, but I guess we'll never know. Although, some theories, as it uses the same skeleton as the airship mounts, which are 2-person mounts, it may have originally planned to have been the same thing. Although there is the Dreadwake, which uses the same skeleton as well, and is also a 1-person mount, but at least that one only has 1 seat. The mount's special animation also has it firing non-existent cannons like the others as well. Now, for a small little Easter egg dimension. This one in Warlords of Draenor's Grimrail Depot dungeon. And here, there's an invisible wall along the rafters which you can jump over to get onto a lower beam. Then, when you get near the ending of the beam, there's a cart stuck in the wall along with a few other things like a cage, a wizard's hat, an open trunk, and a white owl flying. With it being platform 9 3/4 with the inclusion of a sign along with all of the other things behind it, this has been confirmed to be a reference to the Harry Potter series, in which the students would approach platform 9 3/4 through a wall that appears solid but turns out to be illusionary, with the white owl as a pretty obvious reference to Hedwig from the series as well. It's quite popular for players to do certain emotes at NPCs, specifically city guards, and to watch their reactions with emotes like /wave, /rude, or /salute for example. But this actually doesn't apply to all guards, such as the Darnassus Sentinels. See, when they were actually alive, they didn't respond to players doing any emotes. And even if you used emotes on the same guard over and over, they wouldn't do anything back to the player no matter what the emote was. However, if you asked one of the Darnassus Sentinels where you could find the enchanting trainer, it was possible for her to respond with a hidden dialogue as if you said she was enchanting. As a fun note, if a Blood Elf uses /I on his Silver Moon City Guardian, they will bow in response, although they will kneel if you are on a Paladin, and if you /salute, they will do so back. They will also flex if you use /shy on them, and if you /kiss them, they will bow as well. And if you /flap or /chicken, they will point at you in judgment. And now, for an enemy, if you type /dance on the regular Ghost and Stratholme, they'll start to dance too, even if you're attacking them. Even after attacking them, /dance will make them dance with you and stop attacking. /bowing will concede your combat and cause them to evade and disengage from combat as well. You can also /root on them, although they simply just do it back to you. Two unique hidden items that can only be obtained in Pandaria are known as the Ancient Pandaren Fishing Charm and the Ancient Pandara Mining Pick. The Ancient Pandaren Fishing Charm is an item that you can get by speaking to a rare mob in the Valley of the Four Winds called the Ghostly Pandaren Fisherman. After speaking to him but not killing him and selecting all the dialogue options, he'll reward you with the charm. The charm grants you an additional chance to get more fish from pools in Pandaria and lasts for 1 hour. The unique part about this is you will always get fishes from pools as the fishing skill isn't important anymore, along with this charm having an unlimited amount of charges, giving it infinite usage by the person who wants it. And the Ancient Pandaren Mining Pick is another hidden item in Pandaria, and unlike other pickaxes which only grant you +10 to mining, this one also gives you a chance to find gems while mining on top of the +10, even while not equipped, making it quite the powerful mining pick. However, there's an invisible flag that's done by Blizzard that makes it so once you pick up the pickaxe, you can never pick it up on any character again, ever. But that's not a big deal, seeing as it's bind on account item, allowing you to send it to any of your other characters. So if you accidentally sold it, you could collect another and send it to your miner. Starcraft, another one of Blizzard's franchises, is quite famous, and so of course it has many references to it in WoW. First off, it has a fair few battle pets from Starcraft. Zeradar the Archon, an Archon being a being that's created by combining High and Dark Templars. His name is a being combination of Tassadar and Zeratul, two of the most well-known Protoss Templars, and this is obtained from the Legacy of the Void Collector's Edition. Next is Grunty, a Murloc baby with a marine suit and a Gauss rifle, who came from BlizzCon 2009, to those who attended in person, or got the DirecTV pay-per-view of it. The Zergling pet is a very disgustingly horrible rendition of what the Zergling look like in StarCraft, coming as one of the pets from Vanilla WoW's Collector's Edition. Next is the Baneling, which is a much better looking version of a Zerg unit, and funny enough, one that evolves from the Zergling. This comes from StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm's Collector's Edition. And the last pet reference is the Mini Thor, which comes from StarCraft 2's base game's Collector's Edition. Now, before we move on, a couple more minor references. Lord Marshal Draenor, who took part in the opening of the Dark Portal event when Vanilla moved to TBC, is a reference to Marshal Jim Raynor, one of the major main characters in the franchise. Next, we have Protoss, an achievement given to raid groups who killed Shadowlands Iskar and Hellfire Citadel without anyone holding the Eye of Anzu for more than 5 seconds in a row. This being an obvious reference to the Protoss race. And while speaking of Protoss, we have a famous voice line as a quest: "We must construct additional pylons." A famous line said by Protoss narrator when you try to create a unit without having enough supply, as to increase your max unit count,
"You must construct additional pylons."
Funny enough, becoming so mainstream and even made it into the card game Cards Against Humanity. And lastly, the Sky Golem. As well as most Striders used by goblins have a computer screen, one of which has the face of Sarah Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades on it, the face of StarCraft's Brood War expansion. And really, as this is rather out in the open, it seems almost too easy to see and too obviously out of place to be an Easter egg.